around. We're in the pasture right next to the pasture where we had the mother cows and the calves.
Yes.
And this pasture has not been grazed yet this spring, huh?
No, not at all.
How come? Why do you leave it just...
We want to let it get up to a certain height before we put the cows in on it. And it's getting close right now to be grazed.
Let's take a look at some of the examples here. Let's just pick out a spot. What do you have in here?
There's red clover. There's red clover here. There's native blue stem, prairie grass, switchgrass, and little blue stem. And then more conventional grasses, fescue over here.
Well, let's point out the fescue.
This is fescue here. This is fescue. It's probably past. It's a little bit later grazing. It should have been grazed earlier, but with this mix, we wait till the blue stem gets up about 10 to 12 inches in height to bring the cattle in.
How long will you leave them in here?
They'll stay in here probably about 12 hours.
12 hours?
12 hours.
Wow. They don't even get a nibble.
That's all we want. Simply because we don't want them to take the blue stem down farther than about 4 inches. So, and theoretically, what you want to do is, we're mimicking what the buffalo did. And a buffalo only took one bite off of one plant. They never went back to take a second bite.
They just kept moving.
They just kept moving.
Huh?
So that's what we're doing. You know, we want them to keep moving. We want them to take a bite off of one plant and then move on to the next plant. We don't want them to turn around and eat the plant they just ate on. And that keeps it vegetative. That keeps it growing.
Now, your whole theory behind this whole business about feeding them only what's in the field here has a lot to do with the buffalo, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
And what this continent could support.
Absolutely. It's based on we recreated this ecosystem with the cows mimicking the large herbivores, the buffalo. We want them to do the exact same thing the buffalo did. We want them to come into a pasture, we want them to graze it off, and we want them to fertilize it and trample that fertilizer in, and then we want them out of there so that pasture and those forbs and those grasses have a chance to utilize all of the nutrients that those cattle left.
And that's why you want more smaller pastures.
Yes.
Because you want just a brief encounter with that animal and then move them on and let, like you say, the urine and the waste and everything gets trampled in, and that's really good for it.
Absolutely. It's great. You're feeding your pasture base. And that's the only way to feed it. That we believe is through natural manure, natural urine, and then that trampling of pushing it in.